Last week on the Braid and Tinker podcast, I was working on the Winterfjell sweater, I was working on the Mount Pleasant tee, I was working on the Blooming Texture shawl, and working on some secret socks. I did not have any finished objects. Good morning, everybody. It is a day. I have no idea what day it is today, but it doesn't really matter because I probably won't be uploading this video today, so it's not really relevant information. Anyway, welcome to episode 12 of the Braid and Tinker podcast. My name is Melanie and I'm a knitter and I talk about knitting, and if you don't enjoy knitting, this is not for you. I have a finished object! Shocker! I actually did finish the Blooming Texture shawl, which I thought I wouldn't, and then I did. So yay me! I put in a lot of hours to finish this shawl so that I could wear it on my trip to Brussels, which I will be talking about a little bit at the end of this episode. But let's talk about the knitting first, because that's probably what you're here for. So I'm actually wearing it. I'll put in some pictures so you can have a better look at what it looks like. It is a design by Tina Tsay, and she also has a design in Pom Pom Quarterly's summer edition, and I'm just going to show it to you because I think it's a really good design. It is the Deauville tee, and this is what it looks like. So let's put that back. Tina has some amazing shawl designs, and this is one of them, and yeah, I think it's good to get her name out there a little bit more. I made it with 2 skeins of yarn. This dark blue colour is Blue Rinse by Stranded Dye Works, which is the yarn company from podcaster Amy from the Stranded podcast. This lighter pink speckled colour is Let's Play Video Games, which is a skein of yarn by me. The cat is trying to get out the door. I'll just... Okay. There you go. Cats. Which is a skein of yarn from my hand-dyed adventures. And I think these two go really well together. There's quite a bit of lace involved, but they're very short sections of lace, so and different types of lace, and then there's lots of texture bits. There's quite a bit of garter stitch involved, so it's a very enjoyable knit because it it's usually I record on Sunday afternoon. This is Monday morning because I'm having a discombobulation day, and I've been really busy at work. Had a not really busy trip to Brussels, but you know how that goes. Anyway, and I usually record in the afternoon, and now it's in the morning, so I'm not really used to that. I also I'm meeting a friend for lunch in about an hour, so I'm not sure how this is going to go, but I thought I'll just go ahead and record whatever I can. So there. So this is a very enjoyable knit, and also if you want to get into lace knitting and are a bit afraid of it and don't want to commit to a project that is just like one giant shawl of lace knitting, I wouldn't recommend that, I think, for somebody who's just getting into it. But this shawl is really good because it's got different textures, and it's lots of fun and playful bits in between, so you don't really get bored and you can push through the whole shawl quite quickly. I knit this on 3.75 millimeter needles. 3.75 millimeter needles. and I use these are Lang Yarns bamboo needles. This is a size US 5, and I don't really like these needles. It's always one of those things where I think I will enjoy wooden needles better than metal needles, and I don't know, these are just not slippery enough for me. I don't know, I just can't go fast enough. I think these are great for beginners because they have a lot of grip and you feel like you don't lose control of your needles. I think a more experienced knitter would just prefer like high sharp or something like Chiaogu or something like that. These points are also not really sharp enough for lace texture. It's just that these were the only ones I had lying around because my other 3.75 were stuck in my Winterfjell sweater. So I just had to sort of, use something else that I had on hand, and that was these needles. I mean, I got through it okay enough, but I think I would have finished the shawl faster if I had metal needles, which, you know, it's a great reason to buy some more needles in this size, because obviously it's like a good size for sweaters and shawls. So yeah, I'm not super happy about this. It's Lang Yarns, but I think it's the same company that makes Addi needles, and I have some like Addi DPNs, which the way it feels is similar to the to this, so it's the same thing basically, is what I'm trying to say. So that's that for this shawl. My second project is some secret socks that I was working on last week, and I've got a bit further but not much. It's a kind of a lace sock pattern that I have been that I designed and I'm working up, and yeah, so it's not finished. So if you want to knit this, you'll just have to wait until the pattern comes out. For these, it's a very easy lace repeat. It's the thing I like about lace, sort of like easy lace repeats for socks, is that you can do whatever like vanilla sock pattern that is to your own liking, and you know, do the socks that you like to do them in whatever way that is, you know, one at a time, top down, two at a time, bottom up, toe up. And then you can just plug in the pattern on the instep. So, you know, that's something that's been on my mind. So I've been thinking about like simple, interesting lace repeat patterns that you can just put in every sock that is the sock pattern for you. The only thing I'm struggling with is, when this is finished, do I make a pattern that is, it just gives you that lace repeat pattern and no information for how to make socks or how to do the rest of the sock? Or do I like give you a basic vanilla sock pattern and then this as an extra like method of construction? Or do I do the entire thing written down the way that I would do it? I'm not sure. I'm like leaning towards the first option, because I think a lot of sock knitters have their own way, and me writing down another vanilla sock pattern, it's just super overkill. And I think something like this is not for beginner sock knitters anyway, so they wouldn't be very interested in the whole thing. So yeah, I'm not sure, but if people have opinions about that, please let me know. Pop it in the comment section down below, and then we can have a little discussion about it. Because I think it's wasteful to just, here is another 16-page PDF thing that you need to print out. Whereas most people will probably only be interested in like a tiny chart that tells them how to get that pattern. So, oh well, let me know, and then we can go from there. I'm not finished with them anyway, and I have some time to think about it. So I finished this shawl, and then I was thinking, do I finish any of my other whips, or do I just cast on a new project? And that was the winning option. So I found this on Ravelry. It's a mitten pattern by Kerry Malley, and it's called the Happy Camper Mittens. Happy Camper Mittens. I think it's adorable. I really, really like campsite, kind of like this the tent aesthetic, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. It's not like I go camping a whole bunch, but I live in a city. I don't live in anywhere near nature, but I mean, I just like the way this looks. It looks gezellig is a good Dutch word for that. So I cast that on this weekend during my trip, and I finished the first one this morning. The pattern is for mittens, like closed mittens, and I've converted them into fingerless mittens because I'm on my bicycle quite a lot, and when you're cycling it's just easier to grip things, and you're like fiddling around with keys, and I find it easier to have fingerless mittens. So what I did for that is just stop at a certain point and start ribbing, and then you're done. And the same thing for the thumb. You just knit the thumb, stop at a certain point, putting in a little bit of ribbing, and job done. The cuff in the pattern is a twisted rib. I personally don't really like twisted ribs, so I just did 1x1 ribbing. I do really like this little bit where you just cast on in one color and then continue on in the main color. I'm not super sure on what the pattern calls for again, but I had some of this tuku wool left over from my Winterfjell sweater. I bought this at Edinburgh Yarn Festival, and there was like a smidge of it. I can show you actually. It's in my Winterfjell sweater because it is here. It's just I haven't been working on it a whole bunch. So these orange sections, that is that burnt orange tuku wool. I just had like a ton left, so I thought it was perfect campsite colors. And then the off-white is some Rauma Fino yarn that I had lying around. Do I have yeah, this is the ball band. It's color 402 if you're interested in that. The tuku wool is Repo. I don't speak Finnish or anything that looks like that language, so I have no idea if that's the actual colorway name, but I think it is. So anyway, Happy Camper Mittens. These literally flew off the needles. I was done, I think, in 3 days with this one. So obviously the second one is going to take ages, but I really, really enjoyed this pattern. I think it's adorable. It looks really cute. So it is a perfect knit for the Stashmas 2018 knit along, which I am hosting in the Ravelry group for this podcast. So I'm hosting a sort of like stash buster Christmas preparation knit along, and it's, you just get whatever you have in stash, knit presents from that, put them in a box until December, and then we don't have to do stress knitting in December. And I guess I recommend this pattern for that situation. I think a lot of people would actually really like a pair of these. The people that I know. I'm not sure about your friends and family because I don't know them. So in addition to that, I also have a whip that is, so I'm calling these my bus socks because I just knit on them when I'm in the bus. This is a skein of, oh, I keep forgetting the name. I think it's Knitwit Victory Socks. It's quite a plump 80/20 sock yarn. The colorway is called Pdx Carpet, and it's called that because of the carpet that is at Portland Airport. You can Google this. I'm not telling a lie. The carpet has a certain pattern. What people do is they take pictures of their feet with the carpet, put it on social media, and then other people know they are going on holiday, which is super handy for people who like to burgle. But, you know, so it's probably not a very clever thing to do, but it is quite a cute idea. And so Knitted Wit, I think that's the name of that company. They make sock yarn that is inspired by the carpet at Portland Airport, PDX, and you can knit socks with that. So that is what I've been doing, and I take the bus every day to work, so this is just one of those projects that's in my bag, and then I take it to work, and if I feel like knitting, I work a bit on them. They're just plain vanilla. I think the pattern of the sock is too busy to add anything else to it. So there's that. Yeah, don't have anything else to share. So there are two other whips. I have the Winterfjell sweater, which I just showed you for the Tuku wool, and I'm also working on the Mount Pleasant tee, which is almost finished, but I didn't work at all on that this week because I was focusing on the blooming texture shawl. I can just hold it up for a bit because why not? So it's a cropped tee with some lace at the bottom. This is not blocked, so it looks all manky and not nice. But it just needs some ribbing for the sleeves, some ribbing for the neckline, and then it's just like an oversized cropped thing that you can wear over stuff, I guess, because I'm a little bit too old to show my naked stomach at the office. I don't think people do that actually, so thank God the 90s are over. Really like this pattern. I'm not super sure on the yarn choice I made here. This is Blacker Yarns. Ooh, I forgot the name. Anyway, it's a linen and wool blend, but it's a DK weight, and I should have picked a fingering weight. It's just that I wasn't really paying attention. I think it's more like I was super distracted at Edinburgh Yarn Festival, and then I just made the wrong yarn choice. But I picked the amount of balls because I'd looked at the meterage that was recommended in the pattern. So the meterage is perfect. So I don't know. We'll see how it blocks and how it wears. It's going to be quite a bit warmer weather at the end of this week. So I guess we'll find out how a linen wool blend top will wear in that type of weather. Not sure. So last time I had opened some mystery yarn that I had ordered on Etsy from Felt Fusion, and it's in a crinkly bag, so I won't pull it open. It was a lovely, lovely merino silk blend single ply yarn in a purple color, and I later went back to my Etsy order and thought, it's because I upgraded. That's what I upgraded. You can do like a little upgrade on the order and then you get like a fancy yarn, and I had done that, and then after that I completely forgot about that part, and then I was like, why am I getting such fancy yarn in a mystery package? It's because I ordered that. It's still, you're still not sure, and you don't know what you're getting, but yeah, so that was me not paying attention. Anyway, I have some more mystery yarn. These are, I won't show you my address, mini skeins. It's a mini skein set from Little Stone Cottage Yarns in the UK. I don't know, this could be like speckled, super speckled rainbow kit. It could be super muted fade, brown to grey. No, either is fine. I just have no idea what's in this. So I'm going to open this now. I have some scissors. I have to be a little bit careful that I don't. Oh, I might not need. Yeah, I need to cut this. Oh, it's not working. So I'm just opening this now. I have literally no idea what is in this. It's just a fun thing you can do. You can order like you can order a ton of mystery stuff on anything, but you can order on Etsy. You can just say, if you in the search bar just do mystery yarn, and then there's like a ton of sellers that do mystery packages, and they're either in mini skein sets or they're like 100-gram skein or anything, and then you don't know what you're getting. Ah, so exciting! Ooh, these are adorable. One. So my mind is immediately going like, what am I going to use these for? And they could either be, because mini skeins are so perfect for sock knitting, because you can do the toes, heels and cuffs in a different color. So, but what you can also do is do like a, because it's almost like a rainbow-y set. You can do like a big shawl, and then at the like end do like some rainbow stripes, and then it looks super, super cool as well. So I don't really know what I'm going to make for this, but I really like this. So this is like one kind of a brownish grey speckledy colour. I guess like a red vermilion type colour is that colour. A light green, a blue and a very bright yellow, which is very nice. So these were from Little Stone Cottage on Etsy. So you are probably wondering, Melanie, was that your only acquisition this month? This week? No, it was not. I was watching the Grocery Girls a little while back, and Jodie was mentioning that she was running a sale on the bags that she sells on Etsy, and so I had to get one of her sock sacks, and I did. I had these pins already, so it's not part of it. So I got this super cute drawstring bag. I don't remember which yarn this is, because what she does is she gets like yarn from indie dyers, knits it up, takes a picture, has fabric made from that picture, and then she makes these bags from it. And this is, I think, one of her smallest sizes, because this is literally, it's called the sock sack. Is it the hat sack? I think it's both. Anyway, this is perfect for socks because I've been keeping my secret own design project in here. I love this. You can keep it in your bag. It's very small. It fits with everything. It's extremely clear what is going to be in this bag. So love it. Was that everything? No, it was not. I went to Brussels this weekend to visit with some friends of mine, and two of them live together in Brussels. And I noticed on Google Maps that there was a yarn shop super close. So I was planning to go there. And about 2 days before we leave, I check out their website again. And I noticed that they have a Stephen West event. The thing is, on the website it said it would start at like 3 o'clock and it was a paid for event. It was €36. And I thought, it's not something I'm very interested in. So I'll just go earlier in the day and get some yarn, and that's fine for me. So me and my friend Anne, because she's also into yarny things, she's a crocheter, we went together to this store, and it is very lovely. It's called Kaleidoscope. I got one of their bags, and it was still like, it looked pretty calm, and they had like a little back room and there was a bunch of ladies doing some knitting. So I thought, oh, this is probably like their local Saturday morning yarn circle. Doesn't bother me, it's fine. So we are going through the store and we're like pulling out skeins, putting them back, you know, trying to decide what we want to buy. And suddenly Stephen West is like right in front of the sock thing, and there's like 30 ladies surrounding him, and he's like picking up things, skeins of yarn as like a suggestion for whatever shawl they're trying to make of his designs, and it is freaking mayhem. Oh my goodness. You know, it's all nice and well, but I was just trying to find some yarn in a calm, collected, like quiet atmosphere, you know, and it became a little bit chaotic and a little bit annoying because some of the ladies were not actually, you know, looking for something. They were just in the bloody way. Anyway, no harm, no foul. I did find what I wanted to buy. One of the things I bought was some Knit Pro Carbons in 2.25 millimeters. That is the size that I knit my socks on. I usually knit them on a long circular needle and do them magic loop 2 at a time. But I was just thinking maybe I want to try and do them on DPNs. You know, change it up a little bit. So I got these to try that. You know, maybe I like it, maybe I won't, but if I don't like it, I can always give those to someone else. And then they had some I guess brands that are not super easy to get in the Netherlands. I don't think any of these are in the sort of like bigger yarn stores like Cross and Woods or Steven and Penelope or Jewel or Juffrouw Lanterfans or Recht en Afrecht, which are kind of like the basic, oh, not the basic, the more like higher. Oh, and then you have Sticks and Cups in Utrecht, and I'm like almost positive that none of them sell these brands. I might be completely mistaken, but they had like a ton of hedgehog fibers, but you can get hedgehog fibers pretty much anywhere, although it was slightly cheaper than in some of the Dutch stores. But you know, I'm not going to buy a ton of yarn just because it's €2 cheaper. If I was planning to make anything with hedgehog fibers, maybe, but it wasn't. That's not really worth it. on how much they cost anyway. So little ramble. But they had Life in the Long Grass, and I picked up this grey colorway, which I really liked. It's called Pewter. And yeah, I picked it up because I have I got that. I'm just going to grab it out of the crinkly bag anyway. So I got this super fancy merino silk single ply from Felt Fusion last week, and I think it's great. I felt it needed something to tone it down a bit if I'm going to make like a shawl out of this. So I think these two will go together really nicely. But you know, I think it's one of those things that can just you can use it with anything. So I'm just going to put it in stash and see what I'm going to make out of this. So that goes in the stash bag. And then I thought, ooh, I might want to knit a Tenya by Caitlin Hunter, which is a very popular sort of t-shirt sweater design at the moment. I'm not super sure if that's going to be what I'm eventually going to knit out of this, but yeah, it's a possibility. Anyway, so I got 3 because if I do want to make a Tenya out of it, I'm just going to need 3 of these, because I will be making the either large or extra large size, probably the large, and you just need some more yarn. It's like one of those things, if I lose a bunch of weight, it would be so much much cheaper to knit clothes. But you know, so a side thought, I guess. This is Olan Yarns, which is from Ireland. They have some really fancy colours, but this really struck my eye because I think it's quite a bit different than anything I have. I think it's really pretty. I have a cardigan that's kind of in this colour. It's from Primark, don't worry, I didn't knit it myself. And I think it looks quite nice on me, so I thought, oh well, it's a colourway that you can't really go wrong with. This colourway is called Corn, which is, it doesn't matter, I don't really buy yarn for the colourway names, although I think this one is maybe a bit boring, but it is really pretty. It has these pinkish red speckles and some green speckles, yeah, lighter and darker golden colours. I think this is a really, really pretty yarn. So I got that, and then I also got, because I was interested in reading it, the Lane, Lan, or Liner, whatever way you wish to pronounce that, magazine. It's extremely popular, I believe extremely popular in the US, but probably also in Europe. And it, I think the idea is Nordic knit life, which is super funny because I think, yeah, people in the Scandinavian or Nordic countries do more color work, that type, like this, and this is definitely not something that's in here. I think this is more stylized version of Nordic knit life that doesn't really exist, but maybe in people's minds it exists. It doesn't really matter anyway. It's a very pretty magazine. It has lovely photography, but most importantly it has amazing knitwear, like this shawl, which I will be casting on pretty soon, obviously in a bunch of bright colors because it needs to be Melanie style. This is a lovely sweater. Okay, so this magazine, this issue, the theme is pastel. I'm sorry, but most things are grey. So unless grey is pastel now, I'm not super sure what is going on. Fluffy cardigan. I love this shawl. It's by Vera Falimaki from Finland. I think this whole magazine is from Finland. This is the Lotta dress. I mean, it's nice enough, but I don't see myself knitting an entire dress because that would just take forever. The Kuru Cardigan. Okay, so this is green, but it's dark green, greyish dark green. It's still not a pastel. This is grey. So, and what I like about the pattern section is it has drawings of the patterns. Ooh. And unfortunately, sometimes those drawings give a bit more information on the construction of the cardigan or a garment than the photography, because like you can't really tell from, you can see it from this big picture that the sides of this sweater have like a stripy section. You can't really tell from this photography, and it wasn't until I got to the pattern section that I realized that this sweater has these, I guess, like almost garter-like triangles on the sides. So yeah, they give a little bit more information. The rest of the photography is very stylized, very pretty, a little bit moody. So that's lovely. I think if you look at this magazine from the perspective of it, everything looks really pretty. The photography is very much its own style, and it has great patterns. Then I would probably say, yeah, that's true, and it's good for that, and it is, you know, great value for money. I paid, I think, 24 euros for this. Prices may vary. So yeah, it's quite a hefty pattern book, and it's great for that. There are articles in this kind of sprinkled throughout. I would not buy it for that. There's I haven't read everything, but I've read through quite a bit of it. There's an interview with Isolde Teague, and it's just a little bit boring. She just talks about how she started her business, and then it says something like how she knitted as a kid and in university, and then it ends with, and then she started a blog, and the rest is history, the end. And I'm pretty sure that Isolde Teague, who, I don't know, is pretty well known, she has way more interesting things to say about the state of the knitwear community, the industry. It's just a nice pattern book that is pretty and looks good on your coffee table, unless your name is Melanie and you spill water on it and then ruin the cover. So, oh well. I still really like it. There are definitely patterns in this that I really like and will definitely be making. But other than that, I'm not super swayed. I don't think that any of the knitting magazines that are out there have any like exciting women's empowerment messages, interviews like that anyway, but I don't know. For some reason, I had expected a little bit more from this magazine, and it wasn't there. So maybe it's just it's me, and I have silly expectations. The knitting industry at this point is very much, it's a thing that women do, and oh yes, there are a bunch of gay men who also knit. Which is, one, there are also gay women who knit, quite a few. Two, there are also straight men who knit, quite a few. But it's, you know, the same as in the tech industry. When someone says, this is a software developer, people think of like this geeky guy wearing a hoodie. I think when people say this is a knitter, we think of a granny. These are pictures in our minds that are not welcoming to people from different backgrounds, and that we should try and break, and we can challenge ourselves into becoming a more open and friendly community to everybody. But that's not going to happen when the literature that this community offers stops at she knitted sweaters for her teddy bear, the end. We could be getting more. We could be getting much more interesting content, but it's definitely not in the magazines. So personally, I'm just a little bit disappointed about that, but you know, it could be me. Maybe I'm expecting too much, and oh well. There's still a spot for subversive knitwear magazine. I don't have time for that. I have too many hobbies. So please, somebody. Anyway, I have a little montage, I guess, of my Brussels trip. Some of my friends will be in there, but I won't be naming them because that's kind of weird. GDPR, blah, 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 privacy. But you will see them, so haha. I had a fantastic weekend. Thank you to all of my friends for making this possible, especially to my friends who opened their home to us. That is, you know, I guess everybody who's had a bunch of people over at their house staying for a couple of days, it's quite a bit of an effort, and it was fantastic. Some parts of it are always harder, getting a group of 8 people to decide on what type of restaurant we want to eat at. It's a little bit like herding cats, but actually everything worked out fine. I saw a good bit of Brussels. We played a lot of board games. We had fun. I had a few beers. I had amazing pizza. We are still talking about the amazing pizza that we had. Oh my goodness. So that was it. Please enjoy. If it's not for you, if you're just here for the knitting, I'll see you again next time. Bye.